Item number 16 on page 93 is the submission on the biodiversity strategy. And you'll move, right? Debbie and Dave. And is there a seconder for that? Thank you, Member Brown. We'll take it as read, but any additions, any extra information, anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, tēnā koutou. Yeah, there's probably just a couple of things that the attachment A to the report outlines the key themes for the draft submission to the biodiversity strategy, and we have received back informal feedback from 6 local boards, with a further one due this Friday. And they're all in support of the intent of that submission and what it outlines, and added some extra little bits of information that we can include. But I think what it does highlight, or what they've highlighted, is the importance of nature to their communities, so environment and community, which is quite nice. Yeah. So that's really just probably the only additional point I would like to make.
Thank you. It always seems hard having such an important item as the last item on a big day. Deputy Mayor and then Councillor Cooper.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I'd just like to congratulate what you've done here, because you've actually really pointed out the fact that it's not linked up. This work, it needs to be linked up. So the differences between what is happening in the development space, the urban space, the rural space, the native bush space is not clearly defined through this piece of work. So good on you for identifying that and pushing that forward, because that does need to be put into one jar.
Thank you. Now, I hope I'm coherent. I hope Simon Wilson's listening, see if I can string together what I'm going to say. So I just want to say, you know, the consultation we did on the environmental targeted rate, the water quality targeted rate, it really showed that this is the time for the environment and that people really do care. It is raised up above the everyday, you know, when people are out there just getting on with their lives. It is actually top of people's mind, you know, and particularly the more intense we get in our communities, our open spaces and the quality of those, you know, the natural open spaces is going to become even more important and precious. And I think this is one of the things that we as a governing body, we're actually the regional council as well, just to say what we were saying before. And I remember our regional councillors never got bagged the way we do. And we've got an even bigger job, but we have got to make more focus on this, because it is a big part of it. You know, we're a unitary council, and I know that, I mean, Councillor Hulse and I have the Waitakere Rangers local board in our area, so we have some really significant environment in our ward. But we also have an urban ward, local board, and those people of the West are equally wedded to their environment in terms of what they consider the West and the ranges and the coast. And it's really important to people. So this type of work, though it seems a bit tick boxy sometimes at the end of the day, is critical that we have a say, because we've got a huge region to protect. So thank you for the work. Sometimes DOC does need a little bit of help along from some of our specialists. So I'm glad you've been able to highlight the really important parts that they've missed. Thank you.
I too absolutely echo that. And it's fitting, Madam Chair, that if not the last matter, one of the last matters is biodiversity / biosecurity in your name as our chair of our committee. So I just wanted to make sure that, because this is the last meeting of the board, this one, the committee, that moving forward, the momentum continues, recognising Councillor Lee's Simpson's efforts in her neck of the woods, what's happening there. I mean, there's significant improvement, and there's an attitude, a genuine attitude of Auckland that's looking to improve these things. And so without strategy, we're all just ad hoc. So the sooner you land it, the better. The sooner we can, I was saying to Councillor Simpson at lunchtime, the momentum that she could start. There's like the measles happening everywhere else in Auckland, but good measles, right? Getting rid of pests. So I'm just keen to make sure that at least in the Māori board space, post-elections, that they continue to support and champion the work that you guys are doing. Kia ora.
Okay, no more comments. I'll put that recommendation. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. And just before we move on to the very last one, it just strikes me, some of the stuff that we've signed off today provides a fantastic and very clear set of foundations for the next, pretty much everything we set out to do. We've got the foundations there, so hopefully everyone will build on them. Thank you, awesome team. And finally, I'm happy to move the summary of information updates, etc. If someone would like to second those, Councillor Casey will second those. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. And that, whānau, is it. Thank you. I think I've talked way too much today. Thank you, darlings. Thank you, thank you, thank you.